highlight, but we hope you can highlight all. The first one is we have 2024 Africa Public Service Day National Commemorations. Africa Public Service Day is an event that is entrenched in the African Union calendar. It originates from the Conference of Pan-African Ministers for Public Service, which was held in Tangier long time ago. And we must also pay homage to the late President of Namibia, His Excellency Geingob, because at a later age he was instrumental in making sure that this day is celebrated when he was the Prime Minister of Namibia and also Minister of Public Service in that country, together with others. At the conference, it was agreed that the 23rd of June should be set aside and celebrated annually as Africa Public Service Day to recognize the value and virtues of service to the community by the public service. The event aims to discover innovations by the public service, and as you know, our own president has instituted awards which are given not just to ministers as members of the public service in general, but to permanent secretaries, and we hope that it will be cascaded down to the likes of him, chief director, and directors as we go down, and in the provinces, so that we honor the achievers, reward excellency in the public sector, motivate public servants to further promote innovation, enhance professionalism in the public service, raise the image of public service, enhance trust in government, collect, document, and share best practices for possible replication within a country as well as across the African continent. In our country, we try to have surveys to make sure that the people respond, and we have something which we try to measure a level of satisfaction by the populace in terms of our services that we deliver. Therefore, the day serves to remind public servants of their importance as frontiers of service delivery, as they play a key role in addressing our developmental goals. It is important to note that that day is celebrated annually in each country, and once after every 2 years at continental level, where African countries meet and share experiences. And Zimbabwe has hosted these continental celebrations twice, in 2021 and in 2023. You can see the importance that Zimbabwe attaches. This year, 2024 celebrations are at national level only, and will be running under the following theme and sub-themes. The major theme is empowering a citizen-centric public service for an inclusive and thriving 21st century Africa, a journey of lifelong learning and technological transformation. And we have arranged lectures on this theme so that people understand what it means. The sub-themes are as follows: A, cultivating innovative mindsets in the public sector through fostering critical thinking, problem solving, and entrepreneurship skills. Lifelong learners, leading thinkers, cultivating a culture of continuous learning and thought leadership in the public sector. Capacity management development institutions for the 21st century to secure a pipeline of agile and future-ready leaders. D, turbocharging public service, learning, leveraging emerging technologies for enhanced learning and service delivery. And lastly, the ethical imperative for public service, which is weaving ethics and social responsibility in the fabric of Africa's educational systems. Those are some of the key areas that we are attacking as we do this celebration. The main emphasis therefore revolves around the need for the public service to adjust to the ever dynamic and changing world of work. As Zimbabwe this year, commemorations will run over 5 days from Wednesday, it started yesterday, until Sunday, the 23rd of June, in all the provinces. The activities will include, but not limited to, exhibitions, community outreach, public lecture, awareness campaigns against child labor, and early child marriages. The main celebrations will take place in Mtare this year, at Michael's Park, from 21st to 23rd June 2024. And on Wednesday, they were doing walkathon in all the provinces. And in the afternoon, there were exhibitions, career days, campaign against drug and substance abuse, campaign against child marriages, campaign against child labor. Thursday, which is today, the cleanup campaign, children's home and old people's homes from Tare, and all other provinces are also choosing where to go and clean up. In the afternoon, they are doing a blood transfusion. With the number of accidents that are taking place, it is important that all of us should give blood which is clean, so that our blood bankers will not run out of blood. On Friday, which is tomorrow, they will have ball games, soccer, volleyball, and netball in all the provinces. So we are just making sure that the civil servants and the public servants are active. And then in the afternoon, again, exhibitions. Saturday morning, there will be a public lecture at Mtare Polytechnic on the topic that I have discussed, which is the lifelong learning and technological transformation. This will the lecture will be given by the chairman of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Vincent Ungwe. So you will join at Mtare Poly. In the afternoon, there will be semi-finals, ball games, and they will continue with the exhibitions. On Sunday, that will be the official opening of a thing that will already been running, but that will be the official opening. We do it retroactively, and I will join them in Mtare on Sunday for that official opening. As part of the commemoration, the following institutions will be visited: Zororo Old People's Home in Mtare, and will receive food and clothes donations. And in Bulawayo Metropolitan, they will visit Percy Iboson Probation Hostel. And in Harare Metropolitan, they will visit Upenyu Utswa Children's Home. In Mashonaland Central, they will visit Ponesaivan Children's Home. In Mashonaland East, Marondera Child Care Society. Mashonaland West, Good Shepherd Children's Home. In Manicaland, Zororo Old People's Home. In Matebele South, Gwanda Old People's Home. Matebele North, Harvest Family Children's Home. And Masvingo, Rudoi Simba Old People's Home. And Midlands, Blue Hills Probation Hospital. The following career sessions will be conducted at the following. In Harare, there will be Upenyu Utswa Children's Home. They will have sessions there. And in Bulawayo, Evelyn High School. In Mashonaland Central, Heman Gumia High School. In Mashonaland East, Shitepo Secondary School. Mashonaland West, Nemakonde High School. Manicaland Mtare Boys High. Then Matebele South, Joshua Mkavuko Polytechnic. Masvingo. Company visit to Premier Services Medical Aid. They will go there. In Midlands, Amaven High School. That is the commemorations that we are doing. We are trying to combine everything, but with a service in mind. That's why we are saying choose somewhere to go, but also play very hard and listen attentively to the deliberations that will take place on Saturday. So that is on the issue of the Public Service Day. I also wanted to update you on the issue of food deficit. I know you will have questions. As the country took measures to combat the effects of the El Nino-induced drought, government embarked on a 3-month phased distribution plan prioritizing the worst affected areas and the hard to reach. This phased approach commenced in May, and for the May to July phase, as at 18th June, 36,685 metric tons had been distributed across the 8 provinces to 1,630,448 people. Distribution is still going on using the whole of government approach, and the ministry is working closely with Treasury, with GMB, with NRZ, with RIDA, what used to be called DDF, and ZNA, the Army, to ensure there is smooth implementation of the program, with each entity fulfilling its mandate in the fight against hunger. For the urban population, following the results of the 2024 ZIMLAC Urban Livelihood Assessment Report, it was indicated that approximately 35% of the urban population will be food insecure, and this translates to 1.7 million people. And what we have done is every ward has been given the number of people who they will select for cash for food in the urban areas. And that selection is ongoing, and we hope to complete it, I think, in the next week or so, and while we are waiting for cash to come from Treasury. A cash for cereal program will be implemented to cover these vulnerable groups once Treasury has availed the resources. In the meantime, the ministry is working on the implementation modalities on targeting and registering the eligible people to benefit under this program. Both programs will run until March 2025. We still can call upon development partners, civil society organizations, corporate, faith-based organizations, among other well-wishers, to work jointly with us during this period. And as I said, for those who have questions, we will definitely answer. I said there were 3 issues. What's the third one? The third one is that obviously tomorrow the president is opening the Matokero housing scheme, and for which refugees. The 2024 World Refugee Day commemoration is running under the theme Act Now for Refugees Inclusion, for refugee inclusion and meaningful participation for resilience. As a country, we have international and continental obligations enshrined in the 1951 Convention and the 1969 OAU Convention, which Zimbabwe have ratified. Zimbabwe continues to be home to thousands of refugees and asylum seekers, and to date, we have 15,835 refugees and asylum seekers. The government of Zimbabwe made bigger strides in providing the irrigation scheme as a development initiative to assist the well-being of refugees. To date, 55 hectares are under sugar bean crop, while efforts are underway to complete the expansion of the irrigation scheme to 150 hectares. The expansion will result in plus or minus 700 households being allocated 0.2 of a hectare per household. We are also exploring prospects of infusing the accelerated Vision 2030 model in our irrigation scheme. Several business enterprises have been established in the settlement courtesy of the enabling policies being pursued by the government of Zimbabwe. We have 240 business enterprises such as grocery shops, cosmetology shops, butcheries, hardware, among others, that are dotted across the settlement. The twinning arrangement by the government of Zimbabwe with the World Food Programme is a success, and from the beginning of the year, a total of 842 metric tons of maize meal and 434,700 were distributed, or 434 were distributed to the refugee community. St. Michael's Secondary School was formally registered through strategic and decisive intervention by government, and it is being run in conjunction with the Catholic Relief Organization. A classroom block at the ECD Center was constructed by the devolution funds for Tongogara to decongest Tongogara Primary School. So the devolution funds went to Chipinge Rural District Council, and we tried to integrate what is happening in the refugee camp and what is happening in the community, even on all these projects. The government of Zimbabwe mobilized 30 truckloads of firewood from allied timbers, and the wood is being delivered and distributed to the community since the beginning of the year. Again, to make sure that the environment around the refugee camp doesn't, especially the desertification that can take place because of the need for energy. So we arranged for those that firewood. The government of Zimbabwe, through its partnership and as a way of being climate sensitive, is moving towards establishing a woodlot, and the Forest Commission pledged 5,000 seedlings for the woodlot. Mechanization and solarization bush pumps across the settlement to enhance water availability and accessibility. To date, in partnership with the Postal and the Telecommunication Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, POTRAS, African Development Bank, World Vision, Zimbabwe Council of Churches, and Mtare School of Preaching, a total of 8 bowls have been solarized. This has enhanced easy access to water by everyone, including children, people with disabilities, and the elderly. In fulfilling the Global Refugee Forum pledges, which we did as a government, we have done a lot in self-reliance and inclusion of refugees in sport and cultural programs. Some of the sports people, there is now a refugee Olympic for which ours are participating, and we had the opportunity to showcase this when we went to the Global Refugee Forum, and the Minister of Home Affairs, who represented the Minister of Sports, Dr. Kirsty Coventry, was able to make a presentation on behalf of Zimbabwe. Refugees and asylum seekers are participating in sporting activities like karate, judo, soccer, etc. The Tongogara United Football Club is registered with ZIFA and is already playing its Division 2. So we're trying to make a holistic approach to the livelihood of those who are in the refugee camp. In order to make sure that we have a lasting solution, we have established a technical high school at St. Michael's Secondary School that will provide diverse opportunities to learners. We also electric power and clean energy for cooking in the settlement to ease the level of deforestation in the settlement surrounding. We are also providing funding for youth-led organizations to advance their work, including cultural work. If you go there, there is a multiplicity of cultural activities that are taking place. The expansion of the local clinic to suit the expanding settlements of the population, but also that clinic is servicing the people in the surrounding areas. It is manned by people from Ministry of Health. Establishing a technical and vocational education and training institution to to promote skills acquisition by the refugee youth and host communities, expansion of the irrigation scheme to accommodate more refugees and asylum seekers. And you know, this is a donation by His Excellency the President because of our pledges we made about making life easier for the refugees. Most of our refugees are coming from DRC, and this is mainly caused by instability, especially in the eastern DRC, and over 10,000 persons registered as refugees and asylum seekers in Zimbabwe are from DRC of the 15,000 plus that we have. So that is the total. So as we celebrate Refugee Day, and my deputy is representing me today because of other commitments, we as Zimbabwe obviously are pledging to work with everybody to make sure that the refugees who we have accepted to come to Zimbabwe do play their part in the development of Zimbabwe, but also the self-sufficiency and not depend on the government giving them donations or asking other donors to give them donations. So that's what we are doing. Thank you.
Any questions? Yes.
Okay. So, Honorable Minister, the question that I have is to do with the group, the homeless. So, in this...
the homeless?
Yes, like those on the streets. So, do you have a plan to also include these people in the cash for food distribution among you?
Well, those living in the streets, we work with many organizations, including the First Lady's Angels of Hope group, to try to locate where they are, take them into areas where we think it will be easy for us to give them food and other services which they need. A number of them we have relocated to Chambuta in Chireti, and there the First Lady has worked with all urban areas in this country for the last few years, and they have built beautiful accommodation for them, including schooling, clinics, and the intention is to do that to all the refugee centers that we used to have. You know, we used to have refugee centers for Mozambicans, from the ones that is in Chambuta, in Chirezi, the famous Tongogara, which obviously the Tongogara camp, where we are having refugees, and then we have Nyangombe in Mashonaland Central, in Nyanga. There is another camp there, and then we have Mazoe Bridge. There is another camp there. All these camps we want to tend them so that those kids who are living in the streets, we can relocate them there, teach them lifelong skills that can empower them to go to school, to work, and but those who are in town, the Department of Social Welfare, working with other agencies, will try to locate them so that they can also be with them. Maybe not cash for food, because we don't want to end up encouraging drug abuse. So we are careful about that also. But the Department of Social Welfare is really the department that is technically qualified to answer concretely how they deal with those children or those who live in the streets. Yes.
Honourable Minister, just as a follow-up to her question, you did speak on refugees. Today happens to be World Refugee Day.
Yes.
Does the ministry have a program?
No, I wanted to read that as the last one, if I find it. Yes. So let me find it. It is there somewhere. Yes.
Honorable Minister, I wanted to ask on the selection criteria of those families that you've identified in urban areas to determine the vulnerability of them to receive the food distribution, and also if you have figures, how much of the food transport is going to be allocated to individual or families?
Yes. First, the selection is for an individual, but we target households where we perceive there is vulnerability, which might affect the individuals in that household. So, people living with disability are on our list. The old age again are on our list. The child-headed families are on our list. Then there are families with large people in their family and with limited income, and some of them looking after orphans. That is what we are targeting. And once we have targeted that, that family, we also see the individuals. And when we now pay cash for food, it is paid per individual. And what we have said is called cash for food. So we are aligning it to say in the rural areas, we are giving 7.5 kgs per individual. So if there are 10 family, members of one household, we are talking about 10 times 7.5. And we have said, what is the cost of food 10 kg in the urban areas? And that is what we are targeting to give. So it's a moving figure, but at present we thought that looking at the stability that was taking place on pricing, it was $8 per 10 kg. And I think we are working around that. We will finalize it once monies have been allocated to us by the Ministry of Finance. But we are targeting, yes, households, but when we now give, we are giving to individuals in the household. And but the management of that giving, because we are giving children also, often infants, so the management of who do you give is very crucial for us in the urban areas, because this is cash. We don't want it to end up being abused for other purposes, especially drug abuse. So that is what we are careful about. Yes.
Any other question? Or questions? Yes.
Just as a follow-up to your response, Honorable Minister, do we currently have like enough social homes to cater, especially for the homeless, like currently?
Well, that will be difficult for me to say what is enough. I don't know whether you have the census figures of how many people would call indigent. I don't have. So what we are doing is community-based selection mechanisms. But for those who are living on the streets, I don't have the actual figures for me to then equate to say, do we have enough homes? But what the department does, it registers a lot of private sector run children's homes, and it is this where we put some of the children who are in the street and we pay them a stipend and administrative cost to those who will be looking after those children.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Yes, just reminded me, we did a paper where we are also now just not having institutions. We are asking the populace to say, if we find a child in the street, we first try to locate whether their parents or one of the parents is alive, and so that we can take that person, that child, or that person to their parents. And if the parents are indigent, again, the social welfare kicks in to support that indigent family. But we are also appealing to say, if their relatives if the person in the street knows their relatives, we approach the relatives to say that person is better looked after by a relative. So our community and household-based services to these children is also very important now. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Yes. No more questions on these two?